never plant this monster in your yard. This is trumpet vine, Campisius radicans. It's sometimes advertised as hummingbird vine because it's supposed to attract hummingbirds, but this is the first year it blooms, and actually I've not seen any hummingbirds on it. But this thing grows like a monster. These strings right here have grown virtually overnight. Look at this. And I just pruned this here a couple days ago, and look, it just sends out 2 more the next day, like this here. And here. I think the only way to control this monster, if you truly want to have it in your yard, this is just moonflowers. They're okay because they'll die. They're not hardy here. But the only way to control this monster, I think, would be to mow around it wherever you put it, and to have like I would say at least a 6-foot mowing strip around it. And when I planted it here, I thought, foolishly, that this sidewalk here would contain it, and the driveway on this side, and I didn't think it would be able to jump underground all the way over to this flower bed over here. But I've had to take little starts like this here out of the flower bed over here, right in this area here, and one over in here, twice now. So I guess what that means is I'm going to have to spend the next several years pulling up little pieces of it out of this flower bed, because I really don't want it climbing up the house. It would ruin the siding. It does have pretty blooms. This was just about gone, but there was a whole handful of them right there, and they must be sweet because the ants are all over them. But I just am not going to have it growing into the siding and stuff over here this close to the house. Stems like this just grow overnight, and these here, you could prune these one day, and the next day they're back out like this. So if you want to have this growing in a space of this size here, you're going to have to prune it every day. But that's not the real problem. I think I could deal with the daily pruning of this. You see these here, these are the ones that they virtually just grow overnight. I'm serious. And I planted this for because I wanted to get hummingbirds, and you can see where it's been pruned. It just sends off 5, gets more bushy, I guess. Maybe making it more bushy might be a good thing, but it's just too big for this space. But it also has this talent of sending up all these new starts. Now I knew that it would send up new starts. This here is a moonflower that I planted. That's okay. It dies off every year. I wish it'd start blooming earlier, but it's probably the only thing that's going to be on this next year. But the real problem is I thought that it would be okay to have this sidewalk here, and that would keep it from spreading over to the house. But down in here, it spread. There's 2 of them that have come up in the ground right in here, in this flower bed. And I really don't want it on the house. So I'm going to have to keep pulling those up. And probably this winter, I will cut off it at the base. Start with the woody parts close to the ground. But here's some woody parts right here. Here's one right here. Yeah, I'll probably cut the ones like this off close to the ground with some loping shears, but I know from past experience that plants like this, as long as there's a piece of root in the ground, they're going to keep sending up new starts. So it's going to be probably like most other weeds. You just have to keep going out and pulling it up every day or every week, however often you pull up the unwanted plants in your gardens, like grasses and creeping jenny or whatever you have. And here it is, clear over here on this side. Look at that. And I didn't even plant any over on this side, but it's grown over to here. And if I left this vine alone, it would probably go over there and take root, or even take root here in the wood chips. So my advice is, don't plant this plant in your garden. This is a trumpet vine, sometimes known as hummingbird vine. It's I think Copious radicans, but that's what it looks like. And look at this stem here. It grew off a place where I, look at this stem here. It grew off of a place where I pruned it. So, looks like I'm going to spend the next few years trying to get rid of this vine. I'll probably keep on planting moonflowers on this spring. And this honeysuckle that I've got on here, I didn't plant honeysuckle on this side. I did plant honeysuckle on this side, and I really don't think it's a problem. It's easy to keep in bounds and prune. But yeah, you can see the honeysuckle coming, or the trumpet vine coming up all over the place in here. So unless you've got a big wide open space with probably at least 6 foot or more that you're willing to mow around it, do not plant trumpet vine anywhere on your property, unless that's, like you say, have a big area that it's not going to hurt to have it sprayed into. And then you could just mow up to it if you wanted, and you probably would need at least a 6 foot wide, probably need at least a 6 foot wide mowing strip to keep it from invading your property.